Get off of her!
My name's Honeycutt. I'm 15, and everybody calls me Slim.
I know you both worked with John Wayne, too.
Yep.
And it's funny because Peter had said that when he was living in Lake Balboa, he rescued John Wayne's son, Ethan, from a drowning.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he told Duke that when he was on the set of Rio Lobo, and because of it, John Wayne said, "You know what? You're going to need a better hat so the audience can see you better."
Wow.
And Duke changed his hat and his costume, and I think maybe even changed his death scene a little bit so he could be seen. But do you have any memories of working with John Wayne? Because Peter would talk about him a lot. I mean, he worked with Orson Welles too. But what do you got?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but the trailer for the movie Revenge of the Nerds, the voiceover is Orson Welles.
Was that did Peter get him for you?
I don't know how we got him, but we had him.
Yeah.
But my experience on the Cowboys, which was a 15-and-a-half-week shoot, I think I'd been on location not even a week, and we're getting ready to shoot a scene where the Cowboys, each one of the Cowboys has to ride this bucking horse. And if they stay on the horse for 8 seconds, he'll consider you come higher in time. So I go first. I stay on the horse. I introduce myself. I get back on the fence because we're all sitting on the fence of the corral. Well, we get through about 3 or 4 of the boys, and A. Martinez shows up, the feisty Mexican guy. And he jumps on the horse and he breaks the horse. And he trots the horse right up to the kid that was supposed to go next. He goes, "Here, boy, maybe you can ride him now." And the kid comes off the fence, to fight A. Martinez. Well, I come off the fence to defend the kid and fight A. Martinez. And the Duke breaks us up, and he looks at me and he goes, "You, get back up on that fence where you belong now." And he turns towards A. Martinez, and I stop him. I say, "Excuse me, Mr. Wayne. I don't think you should tell me to get back on the fence where I belong. I think you should just tell me to get back on the fence because I'm the head kid." He looked at me like I had 2 heads, and then he lit into me with a cussing diatribe I've never heard before or since, and he reduced me to tears. So that was my first run-in with the Duke. Yeah.
Well, the Duke had his ways, I guess.
Well, also, can you imagine being John Wayne and a 17-year-old kid on his first motion picture is trying to give him a fucking line reading?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Well, you.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, I did that. I still can't believe I did that. I mean, talk about improper set decorum. And then the next run-in, there was another run-in with the Duke where me and A. Martinez get in another fight. Only this time we're wearing our guns because we're going to go on a cattle drive, and all the kids are packing. And we get in a fight. A. Martinez pulls out a knife, and Duke kicks the knife out of his hand, kicks him off the ranch, and then turns to the rest of us and says, "All right, any of you that has something that'll shoot, I don't care if it's a pea shooter, I want you to put it in the back of this wagon." And there's a little wagon right off camera, kind of in a carport-like thing. So everybody's putting their guns in there. And being the thinking actor that I am, I had actually tied the lanyard at the bottom of the holster around my leg, that holds the holster down so you can quick draw. Yeah. Well, I tied that lanyard, but it wasn't long enough to get a proper bow in it. So it had a square knot. So I got a little hung up untying that lanyard, and I grabbed my gun, and I'm playing really bummed out that I have to give up my gun. So I'm kind of dragging my feet. Well, there's a tag to the scene where the littlest kid and Duke Wayne have this little moment together. Well, sure as shit, I got there just a few minutes too late. The Duke, stopped. He stopped seeing the parade of kids come by, so he figured it was time to continue the scene. Except that was the exact moment that I came by. I bumped him in the stomach with my elbow, and then I threw the pistol in the back of the wagon. And that time he really chewed me out. So that was our second run-in.
Sounds like it was a good time. You know who steals that movie is Roscoe Lee Brown.
Absolutely. He killed it.
Good afternoon, mister. Are you looking for me?
Who are you?
Name's Nightlinger. Jebediah Nightlinger.
I was expecting a white man. Jim Wheeler, what happened to him?
Well, he got drunk on Sunday and married on Monday. I came in his stead.
I told him a fix I was in. He promised he wouldn't let me down.
He doesn't even wash his hands before he puts them in the pot. I do.
Can you cook?
Oh, apple pie. Green apple sliced thin. Lard, flour, salt, water to bind, sugar, cinnamon, dab of butter, 3 slashes on the crust, 1 for steam, and 2 because your mama did it that way. Good afternoon to you, lady. Am I correct?
Why, yes, indeed.
Ms. Anderson,
Ma'am.
have you ever been on a trail drive?
The Oregon, Chisholm, Santa Fe, some without names.
I don't know. I like to travel with a man I'm used to.
You'll get used to me.
What do you want for wages?
All I can get.
This job pays $100.
100.
That's the money.
Well, you should get flooded out, stampeded out, frozen out, or scalped by wild red Indians. There'll always be substantial food on the plate and coffee on the boil. But that'll cost you $125.
You're a pretty independent character, aren't you?
It's been said of me.
Put your wagon in the barn.
Are all these small boys?
No, they're my trail hands. God help us.
Well, doesn't anything larger want to work for you?
Yeah.
Were you there when they shot the Duke's death scene?
Yes.
What was the reaction to that? Because he only died like in 4 films, but
I know.
so does he do it like you, a professional, would do it like several times to get it right and up, down, or was it like was there some kind of ceremonial play to that?
Oh,
was
no,
it the last thing they shot?
No. But it was towards the end of the film because we shot that scene on a stage at Warner Brothers, and the stage was the last location on that film. So we had other stuff that we shot on the stage. I don't know if that was the last sequence shot in the film. It could have been.
And do people like give him a round of applause for doing a death scene, or how do people react when the Duke is doing a death scene?
You mean on the set?
Yeah, on the set.
We kind of just watched the whole thing in awe because it was so powerful, but they're doing multiple takes. So, it kind of takes the edge off it.
And does Bruce Dern, like in between takes, like have to remind himself he's doing this, or like what's the vibe like between all the actors?
Well, we're just sitting there shocked, the Cowboys, and the Rustlers and Bruce Dern. I don't really remember what they did between takes, but it was business as usual.
Yeah. You have a good working relationship with Bruce Dern?
Well, he didn't really spend any time with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
When he wasn't shooting, he was not anywhere to be found.
Hi there, everybody. Voice actor Roger Craig Smith here to talk to you about NMOSD. It can paralyze you, it can blind you, it can even kill you in a matter of minutes, but we are very close to a cure. And with that cure could come a cure for cancer. So please go to the Guthrie Jackson Foundation and donate today. Appreciate it.